One of the most popular, and I hate saying this word, influencers, God, that was disgusting, of the past decade or so on the YouTube space has been Grant Cardone. So is his 2016 best-selling book any good, and can us salespeople or business people take anything away from it? Keep watching to find out more. What's going on, sales family? It's Fairhead from Sales Unveiled, once again helping slash through all the misconceptions around sales, business, side hustles, and of course personal development, and giving you the practical advice that you need in your day-to-day roles. Those of you that have been watching me for a while now know that I'm not the biggest fan of generic, wishy-washy type self-help books. Often they're full of generic advice and lies and don't give you the actual practical information that you need to go from A to B. With Grant Cardone then being one of the most popular people in this space, can salespeople take any learnings from his book, The 10X Rule? In the video today then, guys, we're going to cover what I think is the good, the bad, and a bonus at the end of the video giving my overall recommendation as to if this book is something that you should read. Let's go! The good, the concept. So one of the things I really like about the book is that it's just frighteningly simple to follow and a frighteningly simple concept to understand. The basic principle of the 10X rule then is to put 10 times the amount of effort or focus in your job, business, career, or whatever endeavor you're undertaking, and you'll get good results. For us salespeople, this will work particularly well when, for example, we're struggling to reach out to our prospect or get through to people on the phone. More often than not, making more calls is usually the answer to actually getting through and booking further stage meetings or closing more deals. Pretty standard, guys. I mean, you know, more effort you put in, the more you're gonna get out of it. The audiobook version. Now, Grant Cardone is definitely a controversial figure on YouTube, putting it lightly, but there's no denying that the guy is very, very good at getting you pumped up and motivated. As salespeople, and I'll be the first one to admit this, guys, you often have those days where, you know, you don't really feel like speaking to prospects, you don't really wanna be dealing with a rejection. So having an angry American screaming in your ear, telling you to do more and work harder, definitely make you wanna do more calls. The bad. Right, guys, time for a lot of you to start shouting at me and get very, very angry with what I'm about to say. Hard to believe. So the first thing I don't really like about the book is that there's a lot of stories in there that are just frankly quite hard to believe that they are 100% true. Now, whilst I have no doubts that Grant Cardone is definitely a successful businessman, some of the stories in the book, whilst some of them are true, a lot of them do seem a little bit pumped up and a little bit more, how can I put this? These stories have been to the gym and they've been juicing. Now, this isn't strictly speaking Grant Cardone's fault. I mean, a lot of the books in this particular space, whether it's from Dan Locke's FU Money, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all of these kinds of different things, they all have this kind of same vibe to them where there's elements of truth, but there's also elements of falsities in there. So for best results, I would definitely recommend seeing these books as works of fiction with some key points that you can take into your day-to-day lives. You need a solid plan. Now, whilst the 10X rule has loads of examples of how Grant Cardone has implemented this into his own individual life, following the 10X rule without actually having a solid plan in place is probably going to end up in disaster for yourself. What would have made the book actually a lot more effective is if Grant actually went into a little bit more detail on individual sectors and expunged, if that's the right word to use, in a little bit more detail about how they could actually use the rule. For example, let's say you're a sales manager and you read the 10X rule and you want to implement the 10X rule into your careers. You're probably thinking, simple, I'll just hire 10 times the amount of salespeople and we'll have 10 times the result. But without having a plan in place to onboard them correctly, train them in the correct ways, critique their calls, all those kinds of things, you're gonna end up falling on your face a little bit. So you can kind of see where I'm coming from with that. You don't need the book to get the information you need. Whilst the concept of the 10X rule is fantastic, I mean, I genuinely believe anyone can succeed by following it. Once you understand the concept, you don't really need to read the rest of the book. Just simply think of the way in which you can 10X your output. For example, you're watching this YouTube video, so if you wanted 10 times the results, I would obviously come up with a plan and then just do 10 times the amount of videos or put 10 times the amount of effort in terms of doing thumbnails or any of those kinds of things, really. Motivation for motivation's sake. Like I mentioned earlier on, having Grant scream in your ears in the audiobook version is definitely motivating and will definitely get you pumped up. However, if all you get out of the book is the concept and motivation, there are better books out there to help keep you motivated. One book that I've done a video on that covers exactly that is actually David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me, which you can check out here. Brilliant book, you should definitely check it out. Bonus time, guys. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end of the video. And as always, I'm going to give you a little bit of a bonus. And in this video, it's going to be my recommendation on if I recommend the 10x rule. So I'm definitely going to pick that on you guys. But the honest truth is, in my opinion, for salespeople, I don't really recommend this book, and I'd probably give it around about a solid 4 for heads out of 10. Whilst the concept is fantastic and Grant is definitely good at motivating you in the mornings, you don't need to think too hard about this one, in my opinion. The best way I can describe it is like going to the gym and having a personal trainer, you know, shout at you and tell you what to do, but without actually telling you what exercises you need to do. So it's a little bit counterintuitive. Some good ideas, but the synopsis will probably cover most of it for most of you guys. As always, you beautiful people, if you want to 10x my subscribers, absolutely smash the subscribe and like buttons. It really does help out the channel. Leave a comment down below and let me know your thoughts on the 10x rule. More than happy to have a discussion around this if you completely disagree with my opinion. And if there are any other books that you want me to read or any other sales topics you want me to cover, what am I talking about? Cover, leave a comment down below, like I mentioned, and leave your thoughts there. As always, guys, I'll leave it with you for now, and until the next one, bye!